Hi, I'm Dr. Rasheed, and welcome to Counseling Yoga. And so what we're going to do today is attend to a lot of counseling, mind and body connection together. So I would like to first welcome and say a very huge thanks to my demos, Ryan Reinbrandt and Farhan Kabani. Thank you very much for your energy today. I'm looking forward to it. So what we'll do today is we'll start in child's pose, actually. So we'll go ahead, bring the knees out to the sides of the mat, bring the toes together. First, we'll take a deep inhale through the nostrils, and then slowly descend down to the floor. And so we'll continue to breathe here. Now, when you're breathing right now, there's a difference between breathing to physically survive and breathing to emotionally survive. And they're two very different things. So sometimes I know people will ask, well, what's the breathing in and out? What other way really is there? There's a lot more to the breath than just purposes to physically be here. So right now, on the inhale, you're going to breathe in through your nostrils at the same time that you expand the belly onto your thighs. You're almost filling your belly up like a balloon. And on the exhale, you'll slowly bring the belly back to neutral. Soften the shoulders and soften the jaw. So sometimes in life, what we do is we hold on to emotions through our body as well as the mind. And we may talk through a lot of issues and talk to friends, talk to a therapist, talk to ourselves about it, and it's very necessary to do so. However, it's not sufficient because the body holds trauma. So continue to breathe. Now, if the body holds trauma, that means that even if you feel like you've processed something through your talk therapy, through your mind, if the body holds on to something, you might get triggered walking around. And when it triggers your mind back into thinking that old thought. And then you might think, well, I've been over this. How come I'm still feeling like it's happening all of a sudden all over again? That's because the body holds on to things and the body remembers. How often can you recall an experience or a memory in your life and really remember exactly how you felt about it? You probably can't. But if you had physical pain or emotional pain during that memory or that recall, if you try to remember it, it'll come all back because the body remembers those kinds of things. So on our practice today, we're going to use the mind to connect to the body and allow release. So on the next breath, go ahead and inhale through the nostrils, expand the belly. And we'll kind of go through another quote today. Small minds discuss people, average minds discuss events, and great minds discuss ideas. You've probably heard this quote before. Now, on the mat, we're going to practice that. When you're looking at yourself or looking at the person next to you, trying not to compare that what you can do, they can't, or what they can do, you can't. That's a discussion of people. And then trying not to look at just the physicality behind this whole practice. Yes, it'll get you lean, it'll get you stronger, and that's a great side effect. However, during this time, we won't pay attention so much to the posture or the pose because that's events, right? For average minds. We're going to go beyond all that. We're going to go inside to really feel what the pose is doing for us and what the pose means to us. That's the beauty of great minds. So with that said, we'll take one more deep inhale in child's pose. And on the exhale, we're going to set an intention for ourselves today. When you set an intention for yourself today, you're acknowledging here that intentions change because every moment changes. As we go through this practice, be open to the intention as it comes and it evolves with you. Try not to attach to this intention only. On the next breath, we'll go ahead and bring the hands over to the right corner, all the while keeping the hips squared, keeping the left tailbone planted onto the earth. So we imagine here roots and what stabilizes in life, right? So right now we won't take everything with us, we'll just take what we need with us and stretch that out. On the inhale, we'll come back to center. And on the exhale, we come to the left side. And again here, we acknowledge the Hips are towards the center of the room. They're grounded. Your right sipple might want to come up, so ground it down, stabilize it, and try to even imagine to yourself what stabilizes you in life, what grounds you. We have to set a foundation. Just like a house, we have to set that foundation. So after you've set it, leave it there and take what you need with you. On the next breath, we'll come back to center. And we'll slowly rise up. Take a deep inhale, arms out and up. And on the exhale, we'll plant the hands in front of us and slowly come to all fours. Take a deep inhale here. And on the exhale, we're going to plant the left hand above. And then we're going to slide and knead the right hand through. And then place the right ear onto the mat. Now, all the while, again, you're trying to keep your hips squared. So right here, when we look at Ryan, the hips are squared. He's taking what he needs with him, and he's breathing through it. Now, when you're doing this, how hard is it for you to keep the hips alignment while you're stretching? Focus onto what helps and what doesn't help. On the inhale, we'll come back to center, placing both hands underneath you. On the exhale, we'll place the right hand in front and knead the left hand through. And square the hips. And actually, I'm very aware that as I'm telling you both to square your hips, and all of you out there, I'm not squaring them actually as much. There we go. So as you can tell, it's probably a lot easier to point out insight and understanding of others than your own life. And oftentimes we do that. Oftentimes we sit there and we're the great listeners for other people, and we can understand lots about what's going on with them. But what about ourselves? It's that self-awareness. Self-awareness is key to any understanding and any kind of foundation as well. So pay attention to what you're doing with yourself as you understand how it affects all those around you. And on the next breath, we'll come back to center. And curl the toes. Exhale, tailbone high to the sky. And now we'll walk it out. Bend one knee, straighten the other. Now, as you continue to do this, you'll notice here that Ryan's hands are spread out. He's putting more weight into the knuckles than the wrist. The most complaint in yoga is that the wrist hurt. So oftentimes what you want to do is practice putting weight into the knuckles. And then he's going to push so far back that he can see Farhan underneath his shoulders. And say, hey. Take a deep inhale as your tailbone goes high up. And on the exhale, the heels, at the same time the tailbone's high, the heels plant low. We're getting high and low at the same time. So oftentimes, if you notice, we started out a little bit slow today. So oftentimes, when you feel a bit lethargic, you feel a little bit down, it's a good idea, but again, take what fits and leave what doesn't. I'm not the expert on any of you. You are. You're the expert on yourselves. Take what fits and leave whatever I say. So oftentimes, what you want to do is start a practice and meet yourself where you're at. I know sometimes in the morning I can feel super lethargic. So we start off slow, just like we did right now. Start off where you're at, but only give that time for a little bit, and then start to stimulate yourself. When you do that, you'll start to understand how to meet yourself and then go up. If you're already really stimulated, then you'll meet yourself here and you'll slowly come down. So right now, what we'll do is we'll go ahead, because we've met ourselves where we're at, if we're feeling lethargic, we'll go ahead and bend the knees, jump or step to the front of the mat, and inhale, arms out and up. Hands to the palms together, descending to the heart. And we're going to really try to activate the body. We're physically here, but now we're going to get mentally and emotionally here as well. So on the inhale, we raise the arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, come halfway up for space. And on the exhale, we plant the hands and jump or step to the back of the mat. Push away from the mat. And let's all go ahead and start with knees bent first onto the floor. Look down and see that your wrists are right underneath your shoulders, and that your hips are about, or your knees are about hip width apart. You're spreading out the fingers, and you're putting weight into the knuckles as well, and you're breathing. Now, during our practice, if any time you feel like your breath is constricted or choppy, then try to get as fluid as it was at the beginning of class. Now, what happens is when we feel lethargic, our breath might be very shallow, so we try to get it deep. And then when we start to get more rapid with our breathing, we start to feeling more anxiety. The balance is the key. So with the breath right now, if you feel constricted or choppy, try to get fluid. If it's still not fluid during our practice, then you back down. We're going to listen to the breath here and the breath only, because that will give us a true value of the idea behind the pose, what we talked about at the beginning of class. So if the breath is fluid, and only if it's fluid, you're going to go ahead and raise the knees up into an upper push-up position, pushing away from the mat. Taking a deep inhale here, we'll shift forward, and exhale, descend down 90 degrees. Inhale, swim the heart forward. Take a deep breath, shoulders back and down, away from the ears, pushing into the earth. Now, how hard is it to open the heart? We'll look down and see if you're clenching. If you're clenching the earth, then you want to let go a little bit. In this life, when we clench onto things, worldly people, worldly ideas, worldly belongings, we are attached to them, right? So let go of attachment right now a little bit. Balance is key. And use your inner muscles to gain strength. On the inhale, we curl the toes, and exhale, tailbone high the sky. So walk it out, bend one knee, straighten the other. And now we'll engage in a moving meditation. And so what that means is that, again, if you're feeling a little lethargic, what we're going to do is now start to bring in some energy into your body, into your awareness, and into your mind. And so on the next breath, we'll go ahead and jump or step to the front of the mat. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, come halfway up for space, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, jump or step to the back of the mat. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, descend down 90 degrees. Inhale, swim the heart forward. Exhale, tailbone high the sky. And walk it out, bend one knee, straighten the other. Go ahead and jump or step to the front of the mat. Inhale, arms out and up. And exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, come halfway up for space. Exhale, plant the hands, jump or step to the back of the mat. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, descend down 90 degrees. Inhale, swim the heart forward. Exhale, tailbone high the sky. And walk it out. So what we just did right there is we're really pumping energy into our bodies. The more energy we feel in our bodies, the more physiologically we're able to get up and start to have or get things done. What happens is we need actually a little bit of anxiety in our lives to feel productive. It's all balance. Too much of anything is the opposite of the other, right? Too much of anything is problematic. So we take care of putting just a little bit more stimulation into our lives, into our bodies, so that we feel motivated to get things done. And on the next breath, we'll go ahead and raise the right leg up to the sky, squaring the hips, squaring the shoulders. And inhale, lengthen that, almost putting a right footprint on the back wall. And exhale, lunge it through. Pivot the left foot down. And then here, what you're going to do is go ahead and look down and see that your right ankle is in line with your right knee, and your right heel is in line with the left arch. Take deep inhales here and try to unclench the earth. Again, here, what we're trying to do is acknowledge attachment. If it's the idea behind the pose right now, then what does this mean to you? It's just the mechanics, it's just a pose. We all might seem like we're doing something, but we all are feeling and experiencing things within us that are quite different. We might feel the same, but our experiences are different. And what does it mean for you? Let's go ahead on the inhale, rise up, putting the palms, pinkies almost turning into each other, taking deep inhales here. And on the exhale, left arm goes back, right arm forward. So again here, your right knee is directly over your right ankle. And then with your left foot, almost take that left arch Place weight on the left outer edge of the left foot and raise the left arch up to the sky. Taking deep inhales and deep exhales here. Now, how much weight are you putting in the right leg? Try to even that out. Engage the inner thighs really close together. Try to bring weight into the left leg by doing that. Oftentimes we put all our eggs into one basket, the one right in front of us. Also, if you notice, my hips, they're kind of going over here. What ideally they want to do is go to this wall, but look at my knee, what happened. So, right now, if I were to direct all my energy into making my hips go this way, I would be wasting a whole lot of energy. It's something I can't control. It's something that's not going to happen right now. Open to the idea that it could happen one day. However, right now, instead of trying to control what I ultimately have no control over, I control my breath, I control my stance, I control my stability, my ground, I control my gaze, and I control my presence. Right now, in this moment, I'm working on what I can control, and maybe one day my hips will go that way. But it's working on what you can right now so that one day whatever's meant to be will be. On the next breath, we'll go and take the right arm up to the sky, left arm goes down the leg or behind your back. Take one deep inhale here, and on the exhale, we'll slowly bring it back, all the while bending your right knee, facing forward. Now, when we talk about the power of now, we talk about the present moment. What that means is that if you're thinking anything in your mind right now, if you're thinking, okay, what did I get myself into? What am I doing right now? How do I look on camera, right? So when we do that, we're in our minds, and our minds overtake us, they overpower us. What we want to do is make it a little bit more difficult if you're thinking anything. So if anything is in your mind right now, we practice the power of now and raise then the left arm up. Now, when we do this, are we doing it just because we can? Does it mean that just because we're offered something, do we take it because we can? Or we do what's best for us? Sometimes we take on a lot of things in life. And why do we do this? Because it's there, because we can, right? We have things available to us, so then we take them. However, take what you need. And what if you leave the rest? And breathe through it. Did you take the modification when you need to, or do you take the advancement when you need to? You only do it when the breath allows you. And on the next breath, we'll go ahead and come back to center, taking a deep inhale. And then on the exhale, set something free. Whatever it is that you're holding on to, you may know it, you may not know it, but set it free. And on the next breath, we'll take the right elbow inside the right knee, left arm up to the sky. Now here, you're going to take the right hand and go so low, and the left hand, you're going to pull it up to the sky, all the while wiggling the toes, weight is in the heels. Now here again, we practice the presence of now. I have a lot of friends actually that'll say, well, yoga's kind of boring, I don't like to do it. Well, that probably means they're thinking a whole lot during yoga. And so what we need to do is we need to make it harder. I know in my classes that I offer at my office, my office mates will say, okay, no one say that they're thinking anything because we're going to have to make it harder, so don't think. And so they motivate each other to do that. So on this hand, if you're thinking anything, if any thoughts are crossing your mind, use a sensory in your body and lift that right arm up. Now, again, did you do this because you could? Or do you do it because it's going to enhance your practice and it's going to enhance you feeling like you can be here right now in this moment? This moment is the only moment in reality there is. And in this moment, if you're thinking, what in the world did Masuma do to me? Then we make it harder. And then we bring the left arm over to the front, opening the chest up to the sky. But again, do we just do this because we can? Listen to the breath and not the ego. The breath will guide you through this course. The breath is linked to our intuition. And throughout a lot of time in our life, we get disconnected from our intuition. So we're going to come back to our intuition right now. In this time period, if your breath tells you to stay, you stay. If it tells you to come up, you come up. But you'll notice you probably won't even be hearing what I say right now if you're truly in the moment. So on the next breath, we'll come back up. And windmill the hands down. Come to the ball of the left foot. And on the inhale, we lengthen the spine for space. And on the exhale, we're going to slowly try to almost play with gravity here. We're going to slowly take off with the left foot. You can place your hands onto the floor, taking deep breaths here, and then looking at or paying attention to your left leg, lengthening that left leg, and then flexing the left foot so hard that you're going to put a footprint on the back wall, and knowing that the left foot actually is going to help you feel more stable than the right one. Breathe through that. If any time you need to come down because your breath tells you to, don't let me lead you. Let your breath lead you. So with that left leg, pulling it so high up, maybe using your glute to help you pull it up, maybe flexing it and noticing here that the ground isn't the only thing that's going to stabilize you, right? It's not all about the right foot. It's about the left as well. So maybe, just maybe, whatever's supposed to ground us or stabilize us in life doesn't come from this world. Maybe it's something bigger than us. Maybe it's something that's all around us, this right leg, right? Sorry, this left leg. This left leg is the one that's going to stabilize you. It's not necessarily here. It's all out there. Whatever that means to you. It could mean whatever it means for you. Oneness, consciousness, destiny, whatever it is. It is the fact that something all around us, bigger than us, is something that helps to give us stability. And on the next breath, we'll go ahead and take the left knee and slowly, with control, bring it up to the chest. Bring the hand to the heart center. Take a deep breath in. And notice, are you putting a lot of weight into your right leg? When you're putting weight into your leg, try to shift that weight over. Balance is key. Sometimes we engage all ourselves into work or into our relationship or into anything else. However, what happens is that we can't, or it's difficult to do both. So right now, balance yourself. What helps? Raise that right knee just a little higher, flex the left foot. Take a deep inhale and bring the left arm back, right arm forward. And twist. Take deep inhales here, and if you're shaking, that's good. Shakiness means that your body is asking for strength and it's changing. Anytime you've grown in this life, you will probably have gone through a hardship or something that helped you understand a different perspective. Now, I know for me, after actually my yoga training, I was 1.5 inches taller. I don't think that meant that I actually physically grew. I think it just meant that I met my potential. And so let's meet our potential here. And on the next breath, we come back to center, bringing the hands to the palms together, and then slowly bring that left knee and lunge it back. And then plant the hands down and bring the right leg to meet the left. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, descend down 90 degrees and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and push up. Exhale. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, come down 90 degrees and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, push up. And how about we just do one more just for shits and giggles. I hope that's okay to say. And inhale, shift forward. Exhale, 90 degrees. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And come all the way down to your belly. Tucking those elbows in. So take a deep inhale here. And on the exhale, we're going to acknowledge something that you're holding on to in this room. Something, whatever it is, we're going to let it go. Now on the inhale, we're going to take the chest and raise it up, bringing the shoulder, the elbows are tucked in. You're using maybe 80% of your back and 20% hands. Take deep breaths here. We're opening the heart in a different way. I get to come out of it and demo, as you demo. So, lifting the heart up. Now, sometimes when we engage in the heart, it's a specific way. It's a specific way we've done things. Engage in the heart in a different way. Maybe when you do that, you feel a whole lot more because, again, if we do the same thing over and over again and expect different results, that's the definition of insanity, right? Engage the heart in a different way. See how different you feel, how it activates so many other things that we didn't realize we had. And come down. Whew. Again, that darn heart, it always gets to us. On the next breath, we go ahead and raise back up. Maybe we use 90% now, and 10% of our hands, 90% of our back. Tucking the elbows in. If you, maybe not flexing your glutes, but tucking your pelvis in, so you feel the glutes automatically flex on their own. Taking deep breaths here, acknowledging and understanding how your back muscles have probably already changed. It doesn't take long to change. One more breath here. And exhale. Whoo. Maybe place your cheek on the side. Rest for a moment, acknowledging here that every time we use different sensories in our body, every time we do different things, we need time in between to rest. We need time in between to regroup instead of jumping from one thing to another. And this time, how about we do 100%? We come back in, right where we left off, what helped before, to help us now push ourselves to do even more. On the inhale, we come all the way up, and maybe we let go and use 100% of the back. Lifting up, shoulders are back and down, and breathe. And come on down. Placing your hands beside you like an airplane. Take deep inhale here, and on the exhale, you're gonna place the left hand next to your shoulder, and then slowly push away from the mat as you turn over. All the while, your right hand is extended out. Now notice here, take an inhale, and on the exhale, press a little harder into the left hand, and see how the exhale helps you. And the solar plexus is where we keep self-esteem, power, and identity. So every time you're exhaling, what they say is that you are taking the energy, the power from your solar plexus, and you're taking that energy to get into a pose. It's not forcing yourself into it. It's using the power within to see if it's for you. So with that said, go ahead and push a little bit deeper. Open up the chest a little bit higher. Feel it so you can free it. We have to feel things in life to free them. And actually, when we feel things, it's not about freeing them right away. It's about acknowledging them, observing them, letting them come, and then letting them go. It doesn't have to be overnight. And we'll come back to center. Let's go ahead and plant the hands in front of us, curl the toes, and on the inhale, we breathe in. On the exhale, what we're gonna do is come right into a push-up, or a push-up position. So inhale, and then exhale. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, descend down 90 degrees. Inhale, stay here. Exhale, push up. Inhale, exhale, come down. Inhale, exhale, push up. And this time we inhale, shift forward, and exhale all the way down to the belly, slowly but surely. Sometimes when we want to hurry up and get to a destination, we just slide down there. So with control, taking your arms back out to airplane, and we get to do the same thing to the other side. Sometimes they say karma's a biatch, but sometimes karma can come back to you and be pretty pleasant. So with that said, we'll do the same side to the other. We'll do the same thing to the other side. Placing the right hand and slowly pushing away, kneeling or opening the heart up to the sky. Feels pretty good. So again, when we opened up the heart earlier, probably didn't feel so good because you're stretching and growing. And then when you open the heart up this way, probably feels really good. You never know. So engaging in it, embracing it, and seeing what's there for you. Taking deep inhales here and deep exhales, enjoying the moment. Sometimes we pass through the moments that are hard, and sometimes we pass through the moments that are awesome because we're so used to passing. So let's breathe here and enjoy each second. And come back to center, placing the hands next to you. Curl the toes, and guess what? We come right back up into a push-up. Inhale first, and exhale. And so inhale, exhale, come to down dog. What we're gonna do now, shake the head yes, shake the head no. is, again, we're doing a lot of moving meditations today because we're activating that stimulation. So when we do that, again, like I said earlier, if you're feeling that feeling lethargic or feeling that down state, we're activating things inside of you to re-energize that. So the things that we're doing are also meant to get you to feel that energy within so you can engage with the energy without or out there. On the next breath, we'll go ahead and come back to a push-up position. Inhale. Exhale, push-up. Come up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And walk it out. Bend one knee, straighten the other. Monitor now how much you feel inside of you. Is it stirring up something inside? Oftentimes what happens is, especially if you feed off of energy, introverts feed off of energy within them, getting alone space, and extroverts feed off of energy around them. So whatever it is that energy in general needs to flow in and out somehow. So right now, in these ways, energy is flowing in and out. Okay. And so on the next breath, we'll bring the left leg up to the sky. Again, need to balance things out. Outside in the world, lots of things are imbalanced, so we balance things on the mat. Flex the left foot so hard. Raise it up just a tiny bit more. And on the exhale, we lunge it through. Come pivot the right foot and look down and see that the left knee is in line with the left ankle. The left heel is in line with the right arch. And on the next breath, we'll slowly come up. Soften the shoulders, soften the jaw. See how different you feel from side to side. I know my left side is a lot more tense than my right side. And that may be for a lot of reasons. One of them that they say is that the left side is actually where we hold emotion, and the right side is where we hold logic. It's the opposite of the brain. And so in those moments, working on the left side. Instead of trying to argue with reality of why is my left side more difficult than my right, or why do I feel things more than other people do? A lot of times, we might feel things a lot that other people may not. That's the whole idea of not trying to argue with reality, but embracing it. Feeling it here so you can free it, understanding that we're all different. Remembering here it's not, remember the pose or the posture or experience is the idea behind the pose, the idea behind the posture. And with that said, we'll take the right hand back, left hand forward. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Look down and see if you're sinking your feet into the earth or your toes into the earth. Look down and see that you're wiggling the toes, you're softening the shoulders, so we're strong and soft at the same time, the polarities of life. Hopeful and hopeless at the same time, sad and happy at the same time. These two polarities exist in life for a reason, to create balance within us. So right now, you're strong and soft, though. Too much aggression is problematic, but too much feeling passive or acting passive is problematic. So assertiveness. Right now, your strong stance is there, but then you're also softening the shoulders, softening the jaw there, so that you approach things in a way that deserve balance. You approach things in a way that you can hear them. Oftentimes when we communicate with others, we expect them to hear our message, right? But two things are the most important, is how we deliver the message and when we deliver the message. So right now we practice this assertive stance of strong, getting the point across, but also soft and understanding and empathetic. On the next breath, we'll go and take the left arm up and over, all the while keeping the left knee bent straight ahead of you, keeping the right outer edge of the right foot actually placed onto the ground as the right arch lifts up to the sky. And you'll feel that stretch right on your right leg. And it feels pretty good. So in the midst of chaos, in the midst of conflict, can you find places and things that can feel just a little bit good to get through it? This breath, this posture, it's not going to make the pose go away. It's not going to make the conflict go away, but it will make it easier to get through. Now, we talked about the power of now on the other side, so we have to talk about on this side too. If you are thinking anything, if you're doing anything that requires this going on, you're going to raise up that right hand and breathe. If the breath is not congruent with your thoughts, meaning that if your breath feels shallow and rapid, but you are thinking, and you can't get the breath to be fluid, that's a sign right there that your anxiety is really taking over. So oftentimes you want them to be congruent. You strive towards them to be congruent. So breathe here. Every pose we do, every posture we do is a representation of a challenge or a conflict in life. How will you breathe through it? How will you get through it? Come back to center. And on the next one, we'll bring the left elbow inside the left knee, right arm up to the sky. Woo. Unclenching the earth, unclenching the earthly things, earthly belongings, but still monitoring how to feel connection with this earth without attachment. That's often the most thing people will say to me is, how can you feel unattached but still feel connected? Right now in this moment, I bet you Ryan and Farhan feel pretty connected. However, the unattachment that goes with it is just like the breath. We love it, we need it, we honor it, but if we held on to the breath, we wouldn't survive. And if we held on to this pose for that long, we may not survive. So we come up, whew, and windmill the hands down. Come to the ball of the right foot, inhale the spine long, and on the exhale, how about we practice surrendering, and that not everything has to be about this earth, has to be about belongings. What if it is more than that? And take off. Flex that right foot, extend the right leg so far back, acknowledge, again, stability also can mean something that's not easily here. It can mean something around us. Right now, right here, you're engaging in that stability with that right leg straight and flexed. Again, if you're shaking, that's awesome, because shakiness is your body's way of asking for strength. And we're constantly changing and evolving when we engage the sensories. On the next breath, we'll go ahead and bring that right knee, swing it up, hands to the heart center. Take a deep inhale here and understand what keeps you balanced. Is it looking at something directly in front of you? When you come off balance, do you immediately get upset and go right back into it? Or do you ground yourself, center, and then come back into it? It's probably that idea of the self-critic. We all have a critic inside of us. Some people's critic has a large voice, or some people's has a minor voice. Where did that critic come from? The critic came from somewhere. It was born, it had a message, it had a voice from someone or something. That critic right now might be talking to you. If you go off balance, it might say, you better hurry and come back in, or what's wrong with you? Why can't you keep balance? All these questions that the critic might whisper into your ear, exhale that critic out and breathe into this moment. And if you fall, awesome. What better place to do it? And on the next breath, right arm back, left arm forward. Twisting your right body over to the wall, but keeping your hips squared. And there's a lot of weight maybe placed on your left leg. Try to even that weight out. And you might feel a whole lot of stretch in the back. Activating different parts of the body. Not doing the same mechanics over and over. And go ahead and come back to center. Swing the right knee with control all the way back. Place the hands down and bring the left foot to meet the right. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, descend down 90 degrees. Inhale, swim the heart forward. Shoulders are back and down. It's not easy to open up the heart after a conflict. So what is working for you here and what is not? Do you want to come out of it? What's keeping you from coming out of it? What's keeping you from going through it? Listen to the breath, not the ego. The ego will not get you anywhere. I might tell you to do something. The world might tell you to do something. Again, we're facilitators. I facilitate change here. It does not mean I'm the expert. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody. Listen to your breath. and take what people say and what people guide you to do into consideration. But ultimately, it's your journey. Inhale, curl the toes, and exhale, tailbone high, the sky. We'll go ahead and crouch on the inhale, and on the exhale, we'll jump or step to the front of the mat. Inhale, arms out and up. Bring the palms together and slowly descend them to the heart. Take the shoulders, bring them up on the inhale, and the exhale, roll them back. Whew. On the next inhale, we're going to plant so hard into the right foot as we float the left foot up, bringing the left hand onto the left ankle, placing it either on the right shin or on the right thigh, but not on the knee. On the next inhale, bring the hands to the heart center and focus. Focus on something in front of you. We're focusing a lot on balance today. Balance is not easy. Whoever said balance was probably is not that balanced themselves. It's the idea of acknowledging how to not do all or nothing, which is so much of what we do. Right now, we're in a tree pose. So sometimes we argue with reality there too. The idea of growing where we're planted. Right now, right here, grow where you're planted. Right now, right here, if I want to come here, if I say I should be there, I should be there, I should do that, when all the shoulds come up into our head, really we're just shooting on ourselves. So what we want to do is grow where planted, honor where we're at, and then start here. On the next breath, we'll take the left knee into the chest, and on the exhale, lunge it back. Pivot the left foot. Right heel is in line with the left arch. Take a deep inhale and bring the left arm back, right arm forward. On the inhale, straighten the right leg out. Then pivot the right foot over to the left side. Take a deep inhale here and exhale, swan dive forward. Shake the head yes, shake the head no. So here, again, we talk about patterns, right? Now, the hips are ideally squared to the front. On the inhale, lengthen the spine. On the exhale, rotate that right upper chest over to the right knee and slowly descend down, all the while keeping your hips squared. And so sometimes, again, patterns, the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So when we talk about patterns, taking those hips and squaring them forward, breaking patterns here so we can break them out there. Now breathing into it. So what you want to do is almost try to bring your chest towards your knee rather than your nose so your back is straight. And on the next breath, we come back to center. And on the exhale, we come to the other side. I know it helps me to put my hands on my hips and almost change my patterns. It doesn't always have to be this idea of an abstract idea of changing. Sometimes we actively have techniques and understanding of how to change. And on the inhale, we come back to center, flat back. Inhale all the way up, arms out and up, and then pivot the left foot over to the back wall, bend the left knee, and bring the arms out. You guys knew what to do. Now, take a deep breath here, and notice again your stance. Is your left knee directly over your left ankle? Is your right outer edge of the right foot down on the ground with your right arch up to the sky? Now, all of a sudden, we're seeing all of this in a whole new light. Take one deep breath here, and on the exhale, bring your right foot to meet your left, and bring the hands to the heart center. Go ahead and take the left hand, and bring it onto the right ankle, and place it either on the shin, the right hand on the right ankle, and place it on the shin or the thigh. Not the knee. There we go. And I'm going to place mine on the knee. The shin. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Okay, so now again, we're in a tree pose, but how different does everything look? And I almost started saying different things because I was out of my alignment. I was out of my focus. Because changing perspectives, changing perceptions, sometimes we lose our train of thought, we lose our focus because it's not familiar, right? So right now, you actually can't see me as well. You have to use other sensory to really zone in on what I'm saying. So you're using your hearing, you're using your senses. Our 5 senses actually alert us a lot more about what's going on than talk and then cognitive ability. So right now, you can't see me. You see everything else in a different light. What do you see? What do you not see? I know for me right now, I feel very disoriented. And that's because my left side is also weaker. I'm at this place where I'm not understanding what's really in front of me. So oftentimes when we change perspectives in life, it's important to look at them, observe them, understand different people's perspectives, the world. And if it's shaky, it's unfamiliar, cool. That's what it's supposed to do. We're supposed to grow from each other's different perspectives. If we all hung out with the same people, the same ideas, we wouldn't change. Now, shaking, stuttering, changing my lingo, my dialogue, all this is going on right now. And that's cool because I can say, you know what? I looked at it, I observed it, I learned from it, and now I'm going to go ahead and place my right knee up to the chest, say bye-bye to the new perspective, and lunge it back, my right foot. Lengthen the arms out, right arm back, left arm forward, straighten the left leg, pivot the left foot over to the right. Inhale, swan dive forward on the exhale. And acknowledge that it's important to look at different perspectives. It's important to look at different perceptions of people, of ideas, of places. And it's okay if we don't like them or we're not familiar with them, but we try. That's the whole idea. The definition of competence, actually, is that we continue to try over and over and over again. And the moment that we stop trying, we're incompetent. So continue with competence. Continue feeling competent with those around you, with the world around you, and understanding different perspectives. And on the next breath, we'll go ahead, rise all the way up, arms out and up. And exhale as we pivot the right foot back to what is familiar, bringing the arms down and bending the right knee. Go ahead and windmill the hands down. Bring the right foot to meet the left. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, descend down 90 degrees. Inhale, swim the heart forward. And exhale, curl the toes, and exhale, tailbone high to sky. And walk it out. Bend one knee, straighten the other. You know, the highs and lows in life, we've gone through a lot of highs and lows today, very similar to your mat, the microcosm of your world. You know, what they say, the highs and lows keep us alive, right? Sometimes it's hard to remember that, and sometimes it's hard and difficult to understand how that could be possible. But it's almost like feeling as though a heart monitor. It goes up and down and up and down. And it means that we're living. The moment that it starts to go still, we're not living. So right now, acknowledging, breathing in, gratitude. Gratitude for the highs and gratitude for the lows, because they keep us living. And on the next breath, we'll go ahead and raise the right leg up. Inhaling, flexing that right foot. And on the exhale, we lunge it through, pivot the left foot down. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, windmill the hands back. Whew. And we're in a familiar place. We've been here multiple times. But it's the idea behind the pose, right? So each moment is different. On the next breath, we're going to clasp our hands behind us, pull down, shoulder blades coming together. Look down and see that you're ungripping the earth. You're not gripping, knowing that we're changing positions in life, we're changing experiences. Do you then tend to grip what you used to grip? Continue to learn from and use the tools that you're learning throughout different experiences. Oftentimes, we learn something and we categorize it. Take it with you in all facets of your life. Take a deep inhale, pull the shoulder blades together. And on the exhale, you're going to slowly try. Notice I say the word try. Bring the right shoulder over to the right knee. All the while keeping the right knee bent, keeping the left outer edge of the left foot onto the floor. And notice when I said the word try, we also want to breathe, right? Whew. When we breathe, we're acknowledging here. The pose does not mean anything. When we started off today talking about, it's just the mechanics. Right now, what does this mean to you? The heart is open to the sky. You are trying, the word try, does mean we have goals in life. We have places we want to go, we want to get to. It doesn't mean we're going to get there. We ultimately don't have that control. However, we do have control over giving us a framework. Goals give us a framework on how to live and how to do things we want to do. And it empowers us to have a journey. Now, that journey might take us somewhere else, but at least it gives us this framework. With the framework, right now, right here, it gives us a purpose. And on the next breath, we come back up to center, bring the arms out. A sense of purpose is very important and understandably so in our environment. On the next breath, we go windmill the hands down, bring the right foot back to meet the left. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, descend down 90 degrees. Inhale, swim the heart forward. And exhale, tailbone high, the sky. And walk it out. Sense of belonging is the idea of sense of purpose. There's a theorist, Adler actually, is an Adlerian theory. He talks a lot about sense of belonging and this idea of social interest, so that the more we're invested, the more we are actively a contributing member of society, then we then have a sense of purpose. It's the idea of framework. Yes, it's important to understand that we don't have control over our destination, but it doesn't mean we completely let go of control and say whatever has happened will happen. We have a framework, we have guidance, and then we surrender. On the next breath, we'll go ahead, take a deep inhale, actually, raise the tailbone high. On the exhale, plant the heels down. Really feel that stretch. Say hey to each other again underneath your shoulders. And lift the left foot up, flexing the left foot so hard that you're going to put a footprint on the back wall. And on the exhale, we lunge it through. Pivot the right foot down and windmill the hands over. Softening the shoulders, softening the jaw. Oftentimes when we've done something over and over again, we can either start to fade in our stance or we start to be more strong in it. Find your balance. On the next breath, we'll take the hands, clasp them behind you, pull your shoulder blades together. Heart is open to the sky. And on the next breath, slowly descend the left shoulder to the left knee. But again, doesn't mean you have to get there. It just means that you're striving towards something. It's striving towards something. It's having a purpose. Now pay attention. What's keeping you from getting there? What are the barriers in the way? It's often important for us to ask ourselves those questions and understand how much of that do we have power over and how much don't we? Breathing through it. And on the inhale, we raise back up. Exhale, bringing the arms out and windmill them down. Bring the left foot to meet the right. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, descend down 90 degrees. Inhale, swim the heart forward. And exhale, tailbone high, the sky. And walk it out. So here, we've been here plenty of times, right? But however, every down dog that you've taken today in this moment, multiple times, it's the same posture, right? It's the same mechanics. However, if we're to truly believe that it's the idea behind the pose that matters, then you've never really been in this pose before. This is the first time you've been here. This right now, in this moment, is the first time you've ever in this moment felt this experience. Therefore, give it all you got. Oftentimes when we do things over and over, we're in the same relationship for years, we're in the same job for years, what do? We take advantage of it, right? We start to lose interest in it. We start to not try as much. We start to really not give it all we got. Right now in this moment, if it's truly true that every moment, the truth of this moment is not the truth of the next moment or the next, this is the only moment. Give it all you got. Really bring your tailbone up to the sky. Bring the heels down to the earth, spread out the fingers, putting the weight into the knuckles. And remember here that we're giving our 100% because it's the only time we've ever been here. And imagine if we did this with every relationship, every job, every experience, and every moment. That would be pretty damn awesome, actually. Inhale, tailbone high, exhale, and jump or step to the front of the mat. Inhale, arms out and up. Again, hands to the heart center, bringing it down. The truth of this moment is not the truth of the next or the next. On the next breath, we'll go ahead and just bring the hands and arms out, bring the shoulder blades together. Okay, so see how you feel. Monitor what's going on in your body, what you're feeling, how you're breathing. Now bring the hands back to center. Now what we're going to do is we're going to ground ourselves. So what that means is before, when I was doing this, I bet if we had more time, I bet if Farhan or Ryan came over and just pushed me, I'd probably topple over a little bit. What I'm going to do is ground myself. And what that means is all four corners of my feet are going to go into the earth. I'm going to engage my inner thighs together. I'm going to tuck my pelvis in so hard that my glutes automatically start to flex. And then I'm going to bring my solar plexus, like really just, if someone's going to come punch me, just really squeezing that in. Shoulder blades down, chest is open, neck is elongated. And if I took deep breaths here, I bet you if I really took moments to myself, if Ryan and Farhan came and pushed me, I wouldn't move that much. So that's the idea of when disease comes towards us, when people say things towards us, when negative energy comes towards us, how much of us fall over, or even just a little bit. Little bit, we can come back, right? Falling over is that we aren't grounded. So in life, ground yourself, walk with intention. Each moment, absorb it. And then when things come your way, it won't knock you down as much. On the next breath, this time what we'll do is we're all grounding, inner thighs clenched together, four corners of feet into the earth, pelvis tucked in, shoulder blades down and back, gaze is a foot in front of you. Now take the hands and just flex the arms and squeeze them back. Shoulder blades tightly together. And breathe. I bet you right now you're feeling a whole lot more sensation than you did before. Right now, Farhan and Ryan look exactly the same, but I bet you they feel a whole lot different than the first time. That's because if it's the idea behind the pose, the idea behind the posture, then it doesn't matter what we look like on the outside. We can sit there and try and say, why aren't things happening for us? We're trying, we're here, we're present. It takes more than that. Right now, engaging everything you got and pulling back, you feel so different and connected in the inside. Now you're really trying. And after that, you surrender. You surrender to whatever is meant to happen. No control over that piece. Just the idea behind the pose. One more breath. And exhale, bringing the hands down to the sides, palms up to the sky. And breathe. Oftentimes what I do when I want to surrender, or when I want to remind myself to surrender, is I constantly walking around, picking up things or driving, or my hands are down. And when I want to surrender, motor visual skills. Motor visual skills are very important to change patterns in the brain. I turn them up to the sky, reminding myself, surrender, and breathe. On the inhale, arms out and up. And on the exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, come halfway up for space, flat back. And exhale, jump or step to the back of the mat. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, descend down 90 degrees. Inhale, swim the heart forward. This is probably the last time we'll be in this pose, in this posture, in this room together. But ultimately, it's not about the posture or the pose, right? So we will continue to feel this throughout our lifetime. And curl the toes and exhale, tailbone high, the sky. Giving it all you got. Remember, you haven't ever been here before. And then on the next breath, this time when we're crouched, we're going to jump and land on our bum, or however you want to get there. We all have different journeys to get to the same place. And then the feet will come in front of you. Take a deep inhale, lengthen the spine. And on the exhale, you can choose to remain your feet on the floor, or you can bring them up into a boat position with your hands out. Either one. How do you know which one to do? You listen to your breath, not anyone else or anything. On the next breath, what you're gonna do, and I'll explain this a little bit before I do it, and y'all can come down onto your feet maybe if you want, is that we're gonna do a cleansing breath, actually, activating the power within. Remember, this is more of a practice to try to get you more stimulated and energetic. So on the inhale, and I might stand for this, if that's okay. On the inhale, and on the exhale, you're gonna snap your belly back until the exhale is done. So on the inhale, you expand the belly, and then until the exhale is done. So with that said, we're activating the solar plexus anyways by being into this boat pose, and we can go ahead and get back into it. Back is flat, shoulder blades are back and down. Inhaling and exhale. One more time. And how about we make it 3? One more time. And go ahead and place the feet down to the floor. Lengthen the spine on the inhale. On the exhale, plant the hands next to you. And during our practice today, we've gone through lots of poses, lots of postures. And sometimes what we do in life is we often wonder, why did conflicts happen? Why did challenges happen? What was the meaning behind it? We ask so many questions that we might get the answer to and we may never get the answer to. And so right now, we're gonna go into another posture or pose. And if I had brought you in here and first did this pose or posture and we went straight into it, then we may have harmed ourselves because we didn't stretch and heat the body in order to get to the pose. So throughout our journey just now, we stretched and heated the body in order to safely get into this pose right now. So just like in life, we may never know why things happen. However, throughout our journey, maybe there are things to heat and stretch us to get to the next one. So with that said, we'll embrace the next one, placing both feet on the floor, hands near the hips. Take a deep inhale, lengthen the spine. And on the exhale, you're gonna use mainly your hips to lift you up. Placing weight into the heels, but what you're doing is really getting the hips to really engage and lift towards the sky. So almost imagine a string pulling each hip bone up to the wall. And breathe, remembering that everything we went through got you here. So everything has a reason, trusting the process. Continue to breathe as I come down, trusting the process. Oftentimes, surrendering means trusting the process. Whatever is out there is directing us in a way we are also in control of some things, but ultimately we don't. So lift those tailbone just a little bit higher on the inhale, acknowledging here that you are strong enough to get through this, if your breath allows you. And on the exhale, slowly descend. And how about we do it one more time? On the inhale, lengthen the spine. And on the exhale again, how do we get into this pose? We get into it knowing that there is a purpose, even if we don't ever know what it is. And raise up. The idea behind the pose, the idea behind the posture, for great minds, right? It's not about whatever this pose is called. It's about what we feel about it, what it means for us, what it signifies, and what it'll get us through the next time. It's all sequential. One more breath, lifting the hips up to the sky, and on the exhale, slowly come down. And place your palms next to you. Whew. On the next breath, we'll go ahead and elongate the hands in front of us, the arms. And oftentimes in life, we go from one thought to another, one feeling to another, one relationship to another, one experience. We don't enjoy the transitions. And if you get tired, you can put your hands onto your knees, but elongate your spine. So each time we do that, we're acknowledging that transitions don't matter. Transitions are not to be dealt with. But that's because we don't have patience for transitions. Why? Because usually during transitions, we feel. And who wants to feel, right? So when we feel things to free them, doesn't mean they'll automatically free forever, but it's a practice over and over. So right now, we will practice maybe enjoying the transition. And so we'll lengthen the spine, arms out, and what we're gonna do is go from this position to the back on the floor, but one vertebrae at a time. And each time you wanna skip over it, try to breathe through it. And when you breathe through it, you acknowledge here that transitions have meaning and prepare us with strength for the next experience. On the inhale, lengthen, and on the exhale, slowly, ever so slowly, descend down. And when your body starts to shake, it starts to wobble, that's when you breathe. Instead of skipping, and I'll let them go ahead and do it. Oftentimes, when we shake and when we start to jolt, we think, oh man, I need to hurry up now. I need to get through this faster. Or what's the best route that I can take to not feel? You're not alone if you do that. That's completely common because as humans, we don't want pain. Who wants pain? However, pain has to be felt to some degree to be able to release. It doesn't mean that you hold on to pain forever. Too much of anything is problematic. And so breathing into each transition pose, each breath will get you through it. And on the next one, go ahead and roll your knees into your chest, hugging them, moving from side to side, massaging out the spine. Taking deep breaths here, acknowledging that it starts with you. When we talk about what grounds us, what stabilizes us in life, whatever it means to you, it's something out there to trust the process about. Again, whatever it means for you. Each breath you take, from an emotional perspective, will allow you to have more oxygen to the brain, more focus, more energy. We can certainly breathe to survive. The shallow breath we're all here breathing. However, the emotional breath will emotionally help you survive. Shallow breath, getting it to get fluid. Rapid breath, getting it to be calm. Shallow breath causes more feeling lethargic, and rapid breath causes more anxiety. So balance that. And breathe. On the next breath, we'll go ahead, hug the knees, tighter into the chest, and on the exhale, slowly descend them down. Both feet, both legs on the floor, both arms onto the floor into resting pose. Taking deep breaths here. The act right now of emptying your thoughts is not meditation. It's acknowledging your thoughts, observing them, and letting them go. Oftentimes when we have a thought, again, like I said, the first thing we want to do, it's a distressful thought. The first thing we want to do is, how do I get over it? How do I get past it? How do I not feel it? So right now, do quite the opposite. Meditate, acknowledge any thoughts coming to your mind, observe them, look at them, and on the exhale, attach them to the exhale and set them free. It's almost like the bottom of a CNN screen. You're reading it, and if it's gone and you're not done reading it, it's gone. It's not here anymore. It doesn't exist. That's the thought. That's the act of meditation. And now, as you close your eyes, we'll scan the body. Go ahead and even just close your eyes if you feel comfortable, continuing to breathe from a diaphragmatic breath in through the nostrils, expanding the belly. And we start with the feet. And we move up onto the knees, continuing to breathe, move up to the thighs, and then the groin, the solar plexus, traveling up through the chest, then expanding through the throat, the shoulders, coming up to the crown of the head, coming up to the third eye, then to the crown of the head. If there's any tension or any pressure that you feel in any parts of the body we just scanned, then go ahead and take focus to it, put a color to it, put a size to it, put an image to it, a visual. And on the next exhale, watch it dissipate. Don't fight it. Don't fight the darkness. Bring the light and the darkness will disappear. So don't fight it. Breathe into it. Let it dissipate. and evaporate. Even if you don't feel like it's happening physiologically, imagine it happening. Energy follows thought. Let the energy follow your thought there. Take one more deep inhale here. On the exhale, set something free and acknowledge your intention that you started off with today. How has your intention changed? How has it evolved? Honor it. The truth of now is not the truth of the next moment. So honor the evolving truth. The sooner we do that, the less we'll surrender. On the next breath, go ahead and roll over to whatever side you like, right or left, into fetal position. And honor that we were just in ending pose, this significance of ending to everything. Everything in this moment will have an ending because the truth of now is not the truth of the next moment. So embrace the truth of the next moment instead of attaching to the truth of the last. Each time we can practice that, the more energy we won't waste on arguing with reality, we can conserve and use for things that will help us grow. On the next breath, come back to center in a seated position. Take a deep inhale. The tailbone is so far into the ground as the crown of the head is so high up. Bringing the palms up to the sky, acknowledging here, surrender. We hold on to a lot of things in life. We hold on to things because we're attached. And so every exhale you take, remind yourself to let go. Just like the breath, we hold on to it. If we held on to it, we wouldn't survive. Love those around you. Have connection with those around you, with everything around you. But on the next moment, be open to the idea of change. Bringing the hands to the palms, to the heart center. Acknowledging here that the heart is actually the middle energy point between these three and these three. The three above connect us to some bigger world out there that is way above us, that is bigger than us. And the three energy points below connect us to this earth, the worldly things. So how about wondering this right here? This connection, this energy point, the heart, connects us to the spiritual world and the earthly world, whatever spiritual world means to you. The heart. Love, connection, compassion. Hate with hate, it won't work. Compassion is what will connect. Compassion is what connects the thought and the feelings, the mind and the body. So continuing on this journey with love, it's a little cheesy, but love and compassion has more energy than any force that you could have against anything. So whatever worked for you on this mat today, please take it with you off this mat and into your world. Thank you very much for your practice today. Thank you so very much, Demos, for your energy, Ryan and Farhan. Thank you.